Discover solutions to issues that affect your family and professional life with practical information to help you get past life's adversities. Take a proactive approach to power up your life with Rosalie's expert resources.
It's that time of year when the kids are out of school and experiencing the joys of summer vacation. While students everywhere are rejoicing from their freedom, parents wonder, how do I fill their days with something that they can do and I can help them enjoy their summer break? Colleen Burns is a mom on the run, raising 6 sons. She knows the best way to keep all of her boys busy and out of trouble during the summer and to think ahead and give them plenty to do. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
What's the best way to get our kids kick-started in the morning with a nutritious summer breakfast?
The summer often sabotages our regular routines like mealtime, and it can be hard to make sure your kids have good nutrition, especially in the morning, and it's so important because of all those summer activities. And I found what I think is about the most perfect solution. It's a new product from Quaker. It's a first-of-its-kind product. It's called Warm and Crunchy Granola, and what's great about this is it's got 35 grams of whole grain. You can make it in less than 30 seconds.
I've been volunteering in my community for many years, and I've taught my son to do the same. So how can we inspire our children to give back to their community and volunteer to a special cause?
You're exactly right, and it's nice to have kids thinking outside of themselves as early as possible because they are so egocentric. It's a great thing to do to help others, and it can be something as simple as bringing flowers to a nursing home. It can be creating a lemonade stand and donating the proceeds to charity, or stocking a food shelf. All of those things help children think outside of themselves and really understand how much joy is created for themselves as well when you're helping others.
How about a couple of suggestions to reward the family with some summertime favorites?
Ice cream is one of those quintessential treats for the summertime, and while by itself it's a great treat, it's also great to make it an event, something like a Sunday bar in your backyard where the kids can just unleash their creativity, create their perfect sundae with sprinkles and little mini chocolate chips, syrup, whipped cream, whatever you can come up with. And as if we needed another reason to have ice cream, Blue Bunny has this year again partnered with Make-A-Wish. They're donating $1 for every wish card you make online. So take your kids to bluebunny.com/wishes, and every card you create online, and they can let their creativity run wild there as well, they'll donate $1 to children who are fighting life-threatening medical conditions.
So how about staycations? It gives you an opportunity to explore and be a hometown tourist.
I just love this idea because it doesn't cost a lot, and it's forcing you to take another look at your hometown. And to bring it up even another level, I like to charge my own children with the job of being a tour guide on a rotating basis, because you really then find out what they want to do. Sometimes they're just along for the ride and they're doing whatever you've chosen, but you might find out that one of your sons really just wants to go to the end of a dock and drop a line in and fish, or one of your guys is just fascinated by tall buildings and wants to visit the rooftop of everyone he can. But it's a nice thing to do to let them take charge for a change, and it will give you a whole new perspective on your town.
So where can our viewers find more information?
Well, you can get more information at my website at themomontherun.tv.
Thanks, Colleen, for joining us this morning with tips on giving kids the most engaged summer vacation yet.
It's so great talking to you again. Have a wonderful summer.
For some, volunteering is a way of life. Did you know the Salvation Army established National Donut Day in 1938 to honor our military veterans and remember the work of the Donut Lassies, who served donuts to soldiers during World War I and raised funds during the Great Depression? They served up the treats to American soldiers returning home with the nickname Doughboys. Joining us this morning is Major James Bett, General Secretary of the Salvation Army's Greater New York Division, to share the history of National Donut Day. Major, I'm amazed by the enormity of this campaign. So take us through the history of National Donut Day.
National Donut Day, as you mentioned, started in 1938, really to honor our veterans and to raise awareness about the Salvation Army and to raise money during the Great Depression. But since then, it's continued forward and drawn attention not only to what we did during the war, but all that the Salvation Army does even today in communities all across the country.
Tell us, why did the Salvation Army distribute donuts?
What a great question. Actually, the Salvation Army during World War I had offered to help the troops and to do what we could to help. And when the question was sent over, what can we do, the answer came back, send your lassies, which kind of made us giggle a little bit. But when we think about that, they did. We handpicked the cream of the crop women, officers, and volunteers from the Salvation Army to go over. And they were serving, doing things like mending of uniforms and helping to write letters from the front lines and just doing things to be supportive. But then they really wanted to do something that reminded the men of home. And so they looked around and looked for ingredients that they had on hand and discovered that they had what it would take to make a crude donut. And they were able to boil these actually in the helmets of the soldiers themselves. So what a fantastic thing it was at the time, and something that really made them feel like they were back home, at least for a moment or two.
Now that is resourceful. The Salvation Army has teamed up with Entenmann's to increase donations and awareness of Donut Day.
The Salvation Army, there's so many ways to support the Army, whether it be giving donations of money, which really is the most flexible donation you can give, because we can use that to support our programs in every community, in every zip code across the country. But Entenmann's has come along as a fantastic corporate partner for the last 4 years, really tying to the thing that is so known for the Salvation Army, the donut, and to Entenmann's as well, and to raise dollars, raise awareness. And today they're actually introducing the Red Velvet Donut. You may see here behind me this huge 7-foot donut that before this morning is over I may bite into. And it's a new flavor and something they're using to really honor the work of the Salvation Army.
So Major, tell us how you got involved in volunteering with the Salvation Army.
Well, with the Salvation Army, it was from the time I was a child. I'm the 4th generation in my family to be involved with the Salvation Army. So it's something I was born into, but as an adult, I've chosen to stay with because it means everything to me, and I'm thrilled with all that we can do to help our neighbors.
So where can our viewers learn more about volunteering at the Salvation Army and National Donut Day?
Online is the best place to do that. SalvationArmyUSA.org, our Facebook page, /Salvation Army USA, or also I would encourage you to go to Entenmann's Facebook page as an opportunity to become a fan of theirs, which is being used to generate some new donations as well for the Salvation Army.
Family vacations takes a lot of time and energy to plan so that we can experience and explore all kinds of new experiences. Summer seems to be a season of carefree leisure, but planning a family trip can be stressful. From picking the perfect hotel and making sure all the bags are packed and getting the car serviced and ensuring that we have the right technology to stay connected can make the list of tasks seem endless. Here with stress-free tips for family travels is writer, mom, and travel expert Lisa McElroy. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Rose. And it's all about that stress-free part, isn't it?
So how do we get our kids involved in planning the trip to make sure they feel that they too have a contribution?
Well, you know, I like to get my kids involved, first of all, by getting them involved with what they love, the technology. And so I let them pick some place along the road where they sort of want to be in charge. Another thing that we really like is we like to be a little spontaneous on our road trips. And that might sound stressful, but if you have the right technology, it actually makes it really fun. For example, Expedia has a great app for your smartphone, and you can book hotels at the very last minute. And the nice thing about that is you actually get a really good discount if you do that. I usually save about 40%.
With fun comes stress from hours of driving in heavy traffic and anxious kids in the backseat that just want to get there.
Yeah, so one of the things that I like to do is I like to keep them wired in the car. You know, kids like to be on the internet at all times. If you have a mobile hotspot, they can use it in the car, they can use it in the hotel room. You can hook up 15 devices. This is a Netgear AT&T Unite Pro. And it's really cost effective. It lasts about 16 hours. I think it's the way to go. You have mobile where you want it. And I'm telling you, I know my kids always want it.
So what are your top tips to survive the stress of summer travel?
Well, one thing you want to do, because I know I'm always stressed about the safety on the road. I can't control the other drivers, but I can control my own car. Be sure to check your tires before you leave. People don't think about, for example, the air pressure or the tread on their tires. And you know, Rose, one other thing that happens to me all the time is I lose my car. Delphi has a great option that you can get to where if you can't find your car, it'll actually find it for you. And I'm telling you, I've lost my car twice in the last month. This is a great option for me.
Share some tricks on how to book a hotel that'll make everyone in the family comfortable.
Well, you know, the nice thing about the Expedia app is it has all kinds of options of all kinds of hotels. One kind that I particularly like are these business suite hotels because they typically have more than one room. There'll be a living area and a bedroom. They might have 2 TVs. A lot of times they bundle in other things like a free breakfast or free parking, free Wi-Fi, and all of these things make it to where my family can spread out. We're not all bunched together. Everybody can be a little bit more relaxed. Sometimes you can even bring the pets along.
Thanks, Lisa, for your tips to have a safe, adventurous summer road trip.
Thank you, Rose.
Over 45 years ago, Special Olympics was launched through a backyard summer camp to change the lives and attitudes of people with intellectual disabilities. Today, it's a global movement. Over 3,500 athletes from across the U.S. will compete in this year's Special Olympics USA Games, and that includes Team Florida. Among these athletes is 17-year-old Whitney Lackey, who has overcome all odds to compete in this year's Games. Whitney is one of 50,000 people in the U.S. living with tuberous sclerosis complex. TSC, an uncommon multi-system genetic disease. Joining us today is Sharon Lackey, Whitney's mother, along with Kari Luther Rosbach, President and CEO of TS Alliance, an advocacy organization dedicated to improving the lives of those living with TSC. Good morning, Sharon, and good morning, Kari.
Good morning.
Kari, tell us how a person would be diagnosed with tuberous sclerosis complex, and what our viewers need to know about this rare genetic disease.
Absolutely. Tuberous sclerosis complex is most commonly diagnosed in infancy when babies begin having a particularly devastating type of seizure called an infantile spasm. And it's really important that those infants get immediate medical care to stop the seizures. But tuberous sclerosis complex has also been diagnosed in adulthood when individuals begin having pain in their kidney area or issues with their lungs.
Why is it so important for people with TSC to be seen regularly by their physician?
Tuberous sclerosis complex changes throughout a lifetime, and there are clinical consensus guidelines for testing and treatment. And we know that there is improved quality of life with better clinical care. So it's really important that folks continue to be seen by specialists. And in TSC, individuals usually see 5 or more specialists because of the different organ systems that are involved in the disease.
Sharon, share with us the challenges you face as a mother and caregiver to your daughter, Whitney.
Challenges that I face are just like every other typical 17-year-old child. Of course, there's you know, situations that are not like everybody else, and sometimes, you know, you go through different processes and of worrying about the disease. But Whitney has always been such a happy child and very active that she makes it easy.
So how has Whitney dealt with managing her disease while training for the Special Olympics?
It's changed all of our lives. It's given us an opportunity, of course, to bring awareness to TSC, and training for the Special Olympics. She practices several days a week, and you know, we are on the road like other active teenagers going from place to place. She's always had very good self-esteem, but you know, she just continues to go forward and you know, just be active and do great things.
So Kari, what resources are available to address TSC?
Absolutely. Individuals that are living with TSC or their families can go to TS Alliance, TSC.org. We have local branches in 32 communities across the country, and to follow the very inspiring life journeys of our Special Olympians, we encourage you to go to tscathletes.tumblr.com.
Thank you, ladies, for joining us this morning to bring awareness of the complex challenges that people face with TSC.
Thank you so much.
According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, more Americans travel between the months of May and August than any other time of the year. If your work is preventing you from enjoying your summer getaway, you can plan an extended summer adventure. Here to share this year's top travel trends is former NFL linebacker, entrepreneur, and nationally recognized travel enthusiast, Dhani Jones. Good morning, Dhani.
Good morning, Rose. How are you doing?
So tell us what the top travel trends are this year.
More people are traveling now than ever before, and especially the young millennial generation with as much work that they're doing and much travel that they're doing. 4 out of 5 are more than likely to extend for a personal vacation. I mean, they need a little bit of time off, right? So when they're staying at the Marriott locations or when they're utilizing the Marriott Rewards credit card from Chase, they're able to accrue these points in order to achieve that elite status. So when they're actually able to take this vacation, they can actually pamper themselves, take care of themselves, spa treatment, get their clothes done, bring their pet along with them. I mean, these are some of the biggest trends that are out there.
Tell us about what was found in the new Chase Marriott survey.
Well, there's surveys about when millennials are traveling, why millennials are traveling, and also talking about how millennials are living while they're traveling. And some of the statistics are that, although the millennials, they want to be unplugged, but the fact that they're actually socially connected with one another, right? Millennials also, when they're traveling and they're staying at the different Marriott locations, they also want to interact with one another. So you not only have a networking group of millennials, you also have a socially connected group of millennials, and you also have millennials that are looking for that status so that they can actually be taken care of as well.
The survey also reported 4 out of 5 millennial travelers will extend their trip to enjoy personal time away after meeting all their business commitments.
Because the fact that you did hit all those deadlines, you did return all those emails, you did return all of those text messages, and the fact is, you want to be able to have that moment when you can relax and know that everything is taken care of. And then when you wake up in the morning, you can just kind of go about your business. And the fact that the millennial generation, they want to have all of those be a part of the process. They want to be taken care of. They want all those to be a part of the location that they're staying.
Dhani, thanks for joining us this morning and sharing how millennials integrate business and then enjoy an extended vacation afterwards. Many families love to take their pets on vacation with them. And just like people, no two dog breeds are alike. In fact, purebreds in the canine world are incredibly unique from each other, not only in their physical traits and general behaviors, but also when it comes to specific health needs. To help us understand the differences and discover ways to care for some of these specific breeds, pet expert and certified dog and cat behaviorist Steve Dale joins us with some little-known facts about some of the most popular dog breeds. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Rose.
What are the most popular dog breeds right now?
Right now, the most popular dog breed, and actually for decades now in America, is the Labrador Retriever. Number 2 on that list, the German Shepherd dog, followed by the Golden Retriever, the Beagle, the English Bulldog rounds out 5, Yorkshire Terrier is 6, Boxer is 7. These guys are somewhere in the teens. This is a Westie.
Is it harder for dogs to be more active in subtropical climates like Florida?
So that's a great question. I love that. Dogs do acclimatize, so dogs that are adjusted to Florida weather do better than a dog that's coming down from Winnipeg, Canada or somewhere and is now suddenly in this tropical climate. Having said that, dogs don't deal with heat as well as people do. We sweat. That's a very efficient way of dealing with heat. Dogs pant, not quite as efficient. So keep that in mind. So for example, dogs do really die in hot cars. It's illegal in most states, including Florida and Georgia, to keep a dog in a hot car unsupervised. And again, dogs can actually die that way. This white coat might need sunblock. Believe it or not, they can get sunburned. A dark coat is going to heat up a lot faster, just like the dark inside of your car heats up faster, a darker color, for example, than a white interior of a car.
Most of us can distinguish the physical differences among dogs. But according to you, they are extremely different from breed to breed. Can you explain some of the differences?
Well, I mentioned the Labrador, for example, and they obviously look different than this West Highland White Terrier. And that's because they were bred to do something completely different. So this dog in my lap, I now have a lap dog, was bred originally, believe it or not, the sweet lap dog, to go after rats. That's what they were bred to do. So I'm glad this dog, Yazzik, is in my lap now because I can show you this kind of slick body, but yet small enough to go underground in some cases to get these rats originally, and a very tough coat to deal with any kind of terrain, but on the inside a very soft coat. And those nutritional needs follow what this dog is. So we have a mouth with actually larger teeth than the size of the mouth, and these dogs normally would have a tough time picking up kibble. So Royal Canin is one of those dog food companies that does make breed diets. When you see that, I say take advantage of that opportunity. The diet is specifically the kibble made for this guy, for this breed. So these guys can easily pick up that food. This coat is so unique. So you have an amino acid blend in this diet, specifically, again, for West Highland White Terriers.
How about different breeds? They have totally different temperaments. I had a little yappy Yorkie, and he was just a little sweetheart all over the place. And then I had a big yellow lab, and he was just a lover. But tell us about the differences and their different needs.
Yeah, and a lot of that is based on how a dog is socialized. A lot of it is based on the individual dog and the genetics of that individual family, but some of that is also based on breed. And I'm glad you mentioned Yorkshire Terriers. So there's a small dog with a very small mouth and lots of teeth that are very crowded together. So if you can get a diet that addresses those needs, as the Royal Canin diet does, all the better for that Yorkshire Terrier. You can avoid some dental problems that way, potentially.
What are some of the specific breeds and the quirkiest behaviors you've ever seen?
Well, let me give you one that has to do with the Westie sitting right here, not sitting right here anymore, but a Westie story. So there's a dog that is barking, a Westie, barking at the wall in the house, just barking and barking at the wall day after day after day after day. And the owners are like, what's going on here? Why is this dog? They thought their dog was crazy. Well, remember of what this dog was originally bred to do. Well, it turned out the dog was right. They had termites in their walls. And it was a Florida family.
Steve, you're great. I could listen to you all day long, but I gotta go. So tell our viewers where they can find more information about all these specific dog breeds and their needs.
RoyalCanin.us, RoyalCanin.us.
The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention updates travel advisories to urge travelers to make sure they have recommended vaccines prior to traveling. These notices inform business and pleasure travelers, as well as clinicians, about current health issues related to specific destinations. Every year, vaccines prevent up to 3 million deaths and save 750 children from disability. Joining us this morning to urge our viewers to be aware of the need to update your vaccinations prior to leaving the U.S. is Dr. Leonard Friedland, an infectious disease vaccination specialist and pediatrician. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on the show.
Doctor, why is it so important for U.S. travelers to be informed on specific vaccinations that may be needed before leaving the U.S.?
Yeah, absolutely. The reason that it's so important is that we want all travelers from the U.S., when they're traveling internationally, we want them to enjoy their travel, be it for business or for pleasure. And the summer months are coming up. There's a lot of international travel that people will have, particularly in the southern parts of the United States where your viewers are. Big interest in traveling internationally. And it's important that with good preparation and good planning, your viewers can maximize their opportunity to stay healthy and enjoy every aspect of their business or pleasure travel. And The Centers for Disease Control is a great educational resource that has a Travelers Health tab where the viewers can go, and there are over 100 different global destinations that are listed by the CDC related to the specificities for the types of infectious diseases that travelers may be exposed to in these various destinations. And it's important to think about this because the vaccines that are available to prevent many of those infectious diseases that people can be exposed to when traveling, the vaccines often take more than one dose and a number of months in a series of vaccinations to have their maximum effect. So advanced planning is really, really important to stay healthy and maximize your opportunity to enjoy your holiday.
Doctor, has there been specific cases cited by the CDC that can affect summer international travelers?
Oh, well, there are many. The most common one that people will think about are the various infections that can occur from food and from water. So, for example, hepatitis A is a virus that can cause a type of infection that can be spread by either unsafe food or unsafe water. Typhoid is another virus, actually it's a bacteria, that can be spread from unsafe food and water. Also, there are parts of the world where malaria is prevalent, and there are medications, not vaccines, but medications that can help prevent malaria infection. And so the other thing to think about in addition is, for example, right now in the Philippines, there's a large outbreak of measles occurring in the Philippines, and we are seeing outbreaks of measles occur in the United States through importation, so measles being brought back into the United States from people who've traveled to the Philippines. So there are various things that can occur, and the key thing about that is that these can change all the time, and it's important to look at that CDC website and see what are the various travel health advisories. Another thing to think about is that when people travel to other parts of the world, particularly to the southern hemisphere of the world, the influenza season is different in the southern hemisphere than here we have in the northern hemisphere in the United States. So our flu season is during our winter, but in southern parts of the world, flu season is in their winter, which is our summer.
Thank you, Dr. Friedland, for your expert advice to keep us safe and healthy when traveling out of the U.S. this summer.
Great, and I hope everybody has safe travel this summer.
Summer is a great time to promote community engagement, whether vacationing or volunteering. Both can be a generational commitment to increase others' quality of life. Summertime safety includes staying informed of current travel advisories from the CDC and updating necessary vaccines before traveling out of the U.S. And be cautious of time spent in the sun. Protect your eyes and skin from those damaging UV rays. And realize that even your pets can suffer a terrible sunburn. Summer has its rewards, so take time to pamper yourself and share with us your summer plans to vacation or volunteer at facebook.com/Rosalie Show or at RosalieArcherShow.com. And we'll see you soon. Enjoy your summer with your friends and family.